Free will. It's something we take for granted every day. But what if I told you that our cherished freedom might actually be the most dangerous force in human history?
That's quite a bold statement. What makes you say that?
I've been diving deep into this fascinating philosophical dialogue about the nature of choice and freedom. It's remarkable how they frame freedom not just as this abstract concept, but as something that has literally shaped civilization, burning cities, crowning kings, even condemning people to death.
Hmm. So you're suggesting freedom isn't the purely positive force we often make it out to be?
Exactly. And here's what's really interesting. They argue that most people who fight for freedom don't even understand what they're fighting for. We think we're free, but we're often just serving our own desires, fears, and pride.
Well, that's a perspective you don't hear every day. How do they explain that paradox?
They make this fascinating distinction between true freedom and what they call chains of our own making. Think about it. How many people do you know who are technically free, but completely bound by their social media addiction, their need for approval, their endless consumption?
Oh, wow. That hits close to home. So they're suggesting our own desires might be more binding than external constraints?
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting. They argue that even rebellion itself can become a prison. You know how some people build their entire identity around being against something? That's just another form of chains.
That's actually quite profound. But how do they reconcile this with religious concepts of free will?
Well, they make this incredible argument that even divine love requires freedom. They suggest that God had to allow for the possibility of being rejected, or else love becomes meaningless. It's like, imagine if your phone was programmed to tell you it loves you. Would that mean anything?
So true freedom includes the freedom to make terrible choices?
Exactly. And they take it further. They argue that suffering isn't just some cosmic accident. It's necessary for genuine choice. There's this powerful moment where they discuss how a person guided by will chooses to walk through fire, while mere instinct makes them flee.
That's both beautiful and terrifying. But how do they justify all the suffering in the world?
They frame it in terms of transformation. There's this striking line where one voice says, "and burns," and the other responds, "yes." But in burning, he understands light. They're suggesting that our capacity for growth comes from our ability to choose difficulty.
You know what this reminds me of? Those stories of people who've gone through incredible hardships and come out stronger.
Right, and they argue that this precarious balance between order and chaos is what gives existence meaning. They describe human life as being balanced on a blade, one cut too deep, and everything falls apart.
That's quite a metaphor. How do they suggest we maintain that balance?
Well, here's the fascinating part. They argue that the very precariousness is the point. Even eternity, they say, would be unbearable without risk. It's like how a game without the possibility of losing becomes meaningless.
So freedom isn't just about doing whatever we want.
Not at all. And this is perhaps their most powerful point. They argue that true freedom is about having the strength to do what's right even when no one's watching. It's about the choices we make in the darkness when there's no external pressure.
That's really moving. It makes freedom sound more like a responsibility than a right.
And maybe that's the key insight. Freedom isn't just this thing we fight wars over, but this daily challenge we have to grapple with. Every choice we make is either an expression of that freedom or a surrender of it.
You know what strikes me about this whole conversation? How it makes us question our own choices.
Absolutely right. And perhaps that's the ultimate expression of freedom, the ability to question, to doubt, to seek understanding, even when it shakes our foundations. Even those who reject all authority, they say, still bleed in his shape.
Maybe we should give our listeners some space to reflect on their own relationship with freedom.
You know what? That's perfect. After all, as they say in the dialogue, sometimes truth isn't in the voices, it's in the silence that follows. And maybe that's where real freedom begins, in those quiet moments when we truly face ourselves and our choices.